there's so much going on in our region, a lot happening, a lot of folks making these things happen, and Kathy Bailey is one of them. She's the Oil City Main Street Manager. Kathy, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning, Luke. Thank you for having me today.
There is so much happening. Oil Heritage Festival kicks off this week. Tell us some other things you're involved in.
Well, one of the things that we're really excited about today is that this evening we are going to be sort of unveiling 3 brand new murals in the Oil City downtown area.
Very nice.
We've had a project going on for several years now, and we have 3 brand new murals, and we're having an Oil City mural walk this evening from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. in downtown.
That's exciting.
It is.
Of course, with the Oil Heritage Festival, you were going to have thousands of people
Yes.
come through the area, and that's going to be fantastic.
It's a great time. It's a great time to be in Oil City, yes.
So when did this process start?
The mural process actually began back in 2013 is when we started researching. It had been on our radar for quite a while before then. And in 2013, we started researching other communities. We had a group of folks get together representing people from the arts community and our Main Street program. Really took a lot of time to check out other communities, come up with a set of guidelines. So in 2014, we finally had those guidelines in place, and we kind of kicked off our program with an invitation for artists to submit proposals. And then it was a process of kind of waiting to receive those proposals, see what we got. And it's been a very educational process in the meantime. We had to develop contracts. We had to kind of rework those contracts a little bit so that they were appropriate for our property owners and our artists and everything. So it's been a long time in the works, but this year we finally got things underway, and the work really was done over the winter, and then those murals were just installed over the last few weeks.
So all those nights that Mark would go down the alleys and spray paint, I mean, his work is sort of, we're just eliminating that.
We appreciate many forms of art.
Now, I take it also during that time, that was the process of finding the locations, or did you guys already have those locations in mind?
We did have some locations identified, and that's a process of finding a property owner that's interested in that kind of in a mural also, because not all property owners were interested. So we first identified something that kind of fit our vision, then had to work with the property owners to see if they were interested or not. And in some cases, an artist would see a building and wonder if it would be appropriate for this particular location.
So would they say to you, I'm interested, but I'd like to see what the mural's going to be?
Oh, yes,
okay.
Absolutely. And that was one of the stipulations for the artist. The artist had to show a proposal to both the property owner and to us. And we needed the property owner's consent that, yes, they're at least interested in this kind of a concept first before moving forward. So, yes, the property owners have been involved from the beginning.
Now, these were artists that were from, I believe, Western Pennsylvania. Is that correct?
Yes, they are all from Western Pennsylvania. We put the call out to professional muralists in Pennsylvania and beyond, really, but also to all of our local artists in the Oil City community. But mural art is actually a different technique. It is not, we've got many artists right here in the local area. Not all of them are muralists. So we did just put that call out so that everyone was aware of the opportunity. And those that responded to the opportunity, one is Aaron Knapp from the Erie area. One is Diane Adams from Washington, Pennsylvania, and then we also have Bernie Wilk from Pittsburgh. So they're all in the Western Pennsylvania area.
And and as you mentioned, they all submitted proposals to you and to the property owners. I imagine that generated a lot of discussion.
Yes.
And some of the sneak previews have been pretty exciting as well.
They have been. And in this case, and many people were surprised that the murals weren't all painted directly onto the wall. In some cases, that's how a mural is done, but in many cases, it's painted on panels or actually a type of fabric that is then adhered to the wall. And so the artists would work on that in their studios, and they would be sending us progress photos the meantime, so that we knew that the work was actually being done.
That's a rather unique way of doing it. I remember living in Norfolk, Virginia, and I believe there was a muralist by the name of, is it Weiler, I believe, did a mural on the side of a parking garage downtown that was blue whale, porpoises, things like that matched the seaside kind of theme down there. And that happened actually on the side of the building, and folks watched that over a number of days and were even invited to participate at some point. So this is a different way of doing it then.
Yes. There's different techniques and different ways, but this is what ended up happening in our case. But the work is really stunning. It is probably the first mural went up towards the end of June, and so that was on East First Street, and that was Bernie Wilkes' mural. And his was, again, that flexible fabric. And so he had sheets lying on the alley there on the parking lot, and would actually be cutting out the shapes and then adhering them to the wall up on a scissor lift. So, so that was an interesting process. The second artist, Aaron Knapp, his mural was at ground level. And that one I got to see a little bit more of the process because my office is right across the street. So every time I'd walk out for a meeting or whatever, I'd see he made a little bit further progress along the way. Diane Adams was just this weekend, and that's on East Front Street, on the State Street Furniture Building. And so that's the one that was most recently completed. And that was actually rigid panels. She had to use a boom truck to actually reach.
Yeah, that's a tricky spot to get that in there.
It was a very tricky spot, but that one's really impressive. It is a train coming out of a tunnel, so it looks like it's coming right out of the building. And of course, that building sits over the railroad tracks. So
you don't have Deal and Dave sitting on the train engine, do you?
On the train engine, or the caboose.
Yeah.
He probably would if he could.
But I just imagine those locations are highly visible.
Yes.
A lot of traffic.
Yes.
So fantastic, yeah.
And we do have a few other locations in mind because we do have some additional funding still available. So we are hoping, we're probably going to regroup after this and determine which direction we want to go next. So we would like to see at least one more mural. That always depends on the size of the mural. The cost, varies greatly depending on how small or how large your wall is. And we may be able to just squeak one more out and then find another funding source and start the process over, which will, again, take probably a year or so. Things do take a long time from the time you have a concept of a project to the time you actually line up funding and get that funding in place, and then can actually make all the pieces fit together. So, but we're looking forward to it.
Oil City has done such a great job at welcoming artists to the community.
Yes.
Do you think for them, when they see you guys helping artists display work and promoting these murals, do you think for them they say, wow, this is a community that gets it, they support what we do?
Yes, I think so. That's one of the reasons that we were interested in this project. Murals will dress up a blank wall. They will, create a more vibrant environment with the colors and just the images and everything. So it fits the Main Street mission to create a lively and vibrant atmosphere. But it also reinforces Oil City's position as an artist community. So it really just kind of, it just adds and enhances to the artists that are already there, and they're excited about it too, from what I hear. Joanne Wheeler, who is on our Main Street Design Committee, was an integral part of this mural review panel and the mural process. So she's got a lot of positive comments from the artists.
This is something that you see across the state, across the nation. I remember, I think it was a couple of years ago at the Historical Preservation Awards here. That I think they were up at Hillhurst that year. But there was a presentation made on murals in different places around the state. So I know this has gotten a lot of notoriety, and it sounds like it's come home to roost.
Yes.
That's a good thing.
And we're excited about that. And again, we're looking forward to continuing that initiative. We're probably going to stop and catch our breath a little bit, but we're looking forward to doing more.
So do you have input in what you think should be on these murals?
Yes.
Okay.
We put in our criteria that we developed and put like a call to artists. We did give some suggested themes, but those were suggested. So some of them were either faux architecture, where you actually paint in, windows and architectural enhancements. It could be outdoor recreation, river, bike trails, etc. It could be an oil history theme, oil and gas theme, Native American culture, things that are pertaining to our area, Victorian themes even. So we gave some suggested themes, but didn't limit to that. So, we are excited to hear what artists have, a vision for when they come to our town and see a building, and have a concept of what they'd like to put forth. So it wasn't restricted to those themes.
So is that something where the artist would say to you, boy, we'd really like to see the space in person to get a good understanding of what we're doing? Or
Yes.
was it just supplying photographs?
A little bit of both. We really encourage the artists to visit in person because we feel you can't really, it's better to get the full feel if you're in person on the street, and can see the community for yourself. And in most cases that did happen. In one case, it was more of, the artist looking at photographs and then, providing a proposal based on that, which still worked out all right.
But as you say, these folks have experience doing this. This is what they do, so
They do, yes.
I'm sure they've painted on
Yes.
probably thousands of different kinds of building materials.
They have done many murals before, so they're used to the process. And and when you come to a community, things are different in every community, but yet the technique can be applied.
We're here with Kathy Bailey. It is 8:21. This is the Morning Drill on Stream Television and the Allegheny News Talk Sports Network.
I was wondering if you might tell us a little bit about the activity tonight,
Yes.
the mural walk. How is that going to come about?
Well, what we're doing, we're going to begin, we wanted, because there's 3 at once, we wanted to create a walk where we would go to all 3 mural sites. So we're starting at 5 o'clock p.m. on East 1st Street, and that is the Burning Wilk mural, which is on the side of the building owned by Jim Munson, and that's Famore's Restaurant. Everyone loves Famore's. So the mural is located on the side of the building near the Citizens Bank drive-through. So we'll start there at 5 o'clock. We'll have some remarks from the artist. And a few welcoming remarks too. Our mayor, Bill Moon, will be speaking there at that location also. We will then walk over to the State Street Furniture Building, and that'll be at 5:45. And
Well, if Bill's speaking, it might be like 6:15.
we'll have somebody with a big cane.
Okay.
Yes, we'll kind of try to keep him on task there. But at 5:45, we'll be at the State Street Furniture Building, and that is the Diane Adams mural. I See a Train A-Coming is the title of her mural. We'll hear some remarks from Marilyn Black and also Stephen Kosak, who were some of our project partners and funders in the endeavor. And then at 6:30, we proceed over to the north side of town to Elm Street, and that's the Aaron Knapp mural. His is called The Blue Muses, and that's a little more artistic, a little more Van Gogh-like. It's really interesting. But then we'll hear from him, and I'll probably be doing some closing remarks, at that location.
And weather-wise, it's going to be beautiful tonight.
Yes.
So.
We're fortunate.
Nice night to get out for a walk.
It is. It's supposed to be a beautiful evening.
And it fits in so nicely with some of the activities for Oil Heritage
It really
Festival,
does.
too.
This isn't an official Oil Heritage event, but we were fortunate that we could time it, so it was just before the festivities really kick in. And it's a great way to welcome in the rest of the week.
That's great. It really is. It's nice to see color added to town in different places.
Yes.
And
yes.
such.
And they are vibrant. They are
in
very
such
colorful.
obvious places. I mean, they're not just pictures. I mean, they'll reach out and grab you if you let them.
They will.
So.
And they're really, one comment that we received is, I can't see it while I'm driving past. They're not always in the direction of your car.
Yeah.
The best way to view these is park
Get out and
get out and
walk.
walk and look around, because they'll be in spots where you don't expect them to be.
And that helps the businesses around the murals as well. So.
It does. Yeah, murals can be an attraction in and of itself, and it does connect to some of the existing public art that we already have. We have some of those very unique statues along the river. There are several murals in place already, and there are some plans in the works to kind of tie these all together into a larger art walk. So that's
that would be great, because there's already walking tours for the north and south side as well. What a great way to integrate that in there.
Yes.
I'm sure you stayed up all night and thought about that.
I had many friends helping in that process. So,
well,
yes.
it's been nice to drive through Oil City and see business owners or the people renting spaces take such pride, especially as Oil Heritage is quickly approaching.
Yes.
Out redoing or repainting or remodeling, putting new windows in or new facades, taking pride in the downtown. That's going to be a great thing for you to experience.
It really is, and that's one thing that we try to help with also. We have a facade improvement grant program that's available to our downtown businesses, so we try to encourage them to check out our program because we can assist financially with things like windows, doors, awnings, exterior paint, things like that. A lot of business owners have taken advantage of it. We've facilitated 25 projects up until the spring of this year, and now we've started a new round. So we have some more to share, and we're looking for more applications too. But we've also had a number of business and property owners that didn't even. They just kind of did their own thing without going through our grant. They were excited and wanted to complete their work and went ahead and did it. We were in a sort of a holding pattern, waiting for some funding there for a while.
So if somebody's looking to do something, but they're not quite sure, what the look should be or how it would fit with everything else downtown, would you be the person to call? Would you guys help coordinate that and put them in touch with the right people? We
would. We do have a design committee that can meet on site with people, and these are volunteers, but they're people that have kind of a good feel for good design and good storefront image. So we can do that at first. We also have a list of contractors that we've used. They're not necessarily recommended. We always encourage local contractors, so start with our local area before you'd go outside of the area, outside of the region, if at all possible. But we can at least point people in the right direction.
And again, I would imagine there's a lot of, as you say, a lot of partners you guys work with to help facilitate that. So, I mean, if somebody has any questions, don't hesitate. Contact Kathy. And,
please give me a call.
Yeah, and you can get them set up and they can get going. But it's been fascinating. Susan's been talking about all these businesses coming back to downtown Oil City.
Yes. We're excited. Oil City is very walkable. It's the unique thing about it, it's not, I always like to say, it's not your traditional rectangle, with things all on one street. We're kind of sprawled out a little bit. It's almost a little bit of a, sort of a spaghetti thing going on, but, we're on two sides of the river. We've got some curving streets, but we have over 130 businesses in our downtown, and that surprises a lot of people.
Wow.
Because not all of them are on ground floor storefronts. Some of them are in upper stories, and some of them are a little bit tucked away.
Well, that could be a great business name, Upper Stories.
Yes, actually it would, yes.
Okay.
And that's encouraging, too, because I believe it was just a few years ago, there was a survey that took a look at what was available on these second and third stories, too. It's good to hear that people are starting to use them.
Well, we hope to continue that even more because we do have upper story space that some of it is not being used right now. It is underutilized, so we're hoping to encourage more of that. And I see growth down the road in the future. We have good news on the horizon that the parking ramp that has been kind of a subject for quite a long time, that's being closer to being raised, and so that will open up an opportunity for new development there.
Oh, that's exciting. A lot of exciting things going on. Hey, Oil Festival or Oil Heritage Festival this week. What are you looking forward to experiencing the most?
What I am looking forward to this year, I would love to see the Brew Fest that is planned by Flex right now, and that's under the Venango Area Chamber. That's going to be really exciting. That will be, it's a bike and brew, and so we will have bicycles in the town square, and there's bike routes that are planned for the area, and then there's a Brew Fest following Friday evening. So that'll be exciting. It's always a great time. I know that the festival events will be in a little bit different locations this year because of some street changes with the Center Street Bridge being closed. But I think it's an exciting time that we get to experiment this year and try things out for
Absolutely.
See what's a little bit different.
Past the halfway point of the year, what's the rest of the year look like for you?
Oh, there's no rest. there is no rest. We will have another Music on the Square event coming up on August 5th, and that will be featuring Samantha Sears. She will be performing on stage at the town square. And from there, we move right into our fall events. We will have a wine walk on September 9th. That's Friday. We are actually doing 2 wine walks a year, which keeps us very, very busy. But that is one...
And healthy.
And healthy. Wine's good for you. Antioxidants. With a north side and a south side of downtown. That enables us to have 2 wine walks a year where we can have one on one side of town and one on the other. So the fall event will be on the north side. And then we get right into our holiday events.
Wow.
Which just, yes, doesn't seem to stop. Christmas Pass, Jingle Bell Run, 5K, Small Business Saturday will be right after Thanksgiving. So there's quite a bit.
Very exciting stuff going on. All right, Kathy, if people have any questions, want more information, how can they get a hold of you?
They can reach me in the Main Street office, which is located in the Oil Region Alliance building. My number is 814-677-3152, and I'm at extension 101. You can also find us online. We are oilcitymainstreet.org, and you can also find us on Facebook, too.
Very nice. All right, thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
And please come back and keep us updated on what's going on.
I will do that. Thank you so much.
Final Look at News coming up next.
Thanks for coming up.